Hello and welcome to Fossil Arcade. Last time, Alex and I played Alien vs Predator on Capcom Home Arcade, and afterwards we played our head-to-head Street Fighter round to decide what game we would play next, and Alex won and chose Super Puzzle Fighter II Turbo. So we're both going to be playing that today. You can get started. Usually when we play on Fossil Arcade, we do sort of like a little review of the thing. But today, because we're both familiar with it and we both know that we really like it, we're just going to explain how it plays. Whether you're familiar with Puzzle Fighter or not, we can impart some extra gameplay knowledge. Yeah, we're not experts.
And you'll see us go head to head.
Yeah, we'll do head to head and you can sort of see how we play. So with Puzzle Fighter, it's sort of Capcom's response to what was very popular in the 90s in Japanese arcades, the sort of competitive puzzle game, and that comes from like Puyo Puyo, Sega's arcade series, and a few others as well that SNK have done that are very sort of like head-to-head based puzzle games, like Tetris-inspired stuff, but with a bit more Japanese flair, I suppose. But this is more than just them taking their Capcom IP and shoving it in a game to like make a quick buck. It's actually really heavily focused on that competitive spirit that the Street Fighter and Darkstalkers games where the characters come from. So the way it basically works is that you have 4 colours of gems dropping down, red, green, yellow and blue, and you can collect the gems together to build larger gems, and then if you get a crash gem, which is the little sphere that detonates them and shatters them all, and doing that in chain combos and like massive numbers sends over counters to your opponent, and those counters take the form of these little numbered gems that over turns they count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and after sort of 5 drops they'll become a gem that your opponent can use to attack you back. But the way it kind of emulates a fighting game is that because it shows you how many counter gems you're going to be sent, you have a chance to react to it, and if you have a combo building up on your playfield, you can then activate it and prevent that attack coming through. You can weaken it or eradicate it altogether. So it becomes very sort of like tactical in that way. You can choose to kind of save up a combo and say, okay, this is ready, and I can use that to protect myself, but it can also be its own attack. It's very much block and punish sort of gameplay, but in a puzzle setting. But the other side of it, and this is where it becomes a lot deeper, is that each character you choose has a fixed pattern. When you send those attack gems over, it's not random what falls down. Every character's kind of colours is different and they lay out in a different way. So when we play together, we'll go through sort of why each character is different and how to defeat them, as it were, how you can use their attacks to your advantage as the attacking player, or how you can use that pattern to your advantage as the opponent as well. Alex is playing at the moment because we've been practicing this on the PlayStation Mini, because it's one of the games that was on the PlayStation Classic that came out last year. But obviously I've had more time with the arcade stick controls, and Alex has just been playing on the DualShock. So what do you think of it now? You've kind of gone over from the traditional buttons to, well, I suppose the original arcade buttons, the arcade controls.
Pick it up quite quick actually, and the stick's really nice to use for alignment. I was worried that I might
shift over.
Yeah, I might not be able to get the alignments, but actually the way it sort of clicks as you move left and right, it's got that classic sort of clicking motion, actually really helps with your alignments.
Sure.
I mean, one thing with just Puzzle Fighter, I can't imagine ever playing it in an arcade. I can't imagine that machine. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Because we've come to it as like a PlayStation game basically. It's fixed in that part of your mind.
Yeah.
But I think these are surprisingly common. Like to a Westerner, we wouldn't really see this kind of game in our arcades over here. But I think in Japan, this is not such an odd thing, because they have such a much broader spectrum of different arcade games in Japan than we get here. That something like this wouldn't raise an eyebrow really, especially with the kind of pedigree of having the Capcom characters in it. It's got like 50% Street Fighter characters and then 50% Darkstalkers characters, and then there's a couple of hidden ones where you can put special inputs in and get some hidden characters in.
Nice.
So we're going to show those up as well later.
I would love to play it in an arcade.
Yeah.
Can't punish now.
One additional thing I haven't mentioned is the rainbow gem. You haven't got it yet, have you?
No. A few have come up.
A rainbow gem is it's sort of like a diamond, sort of chaos emerald looking gem, and if you drop that onto any colour, here comes one now. If you drop that onto a colour, all the colours, all the gems of that colour on screen will go. So you're able to get rid of all of the reds, and it's lets you kind of have a little bit of a comeback. Was I distracting you there?
No, it was just a really close match.
Oh, I see. Yeah, should we do some head-to-head ones?
Yeah.
Alright. Who are you going to be?
I'll be Ken.
Okay, so you can see it showing you the patterns now on screen. And Morrigan's kind of has this kind of sort of pillar shape where it's giving you a lot of different colours at once. And if you give a little kind of chip attack, a small attack, you'll only get like a little bit of that pattern. If you give like a massive combo, you'll get that pattern repeated several times over. Should we do 4 or do you want to do 3?
Start on 3 and we'll work with 4.
With Ken's, his is more like a striking pattern, which means if you send too many small attacks, you're just going to be sending red. You can send a lot of red to your opponent. If you send a lot of one colour of gems, and then you're able to break that, you can, wipe out your opponent quite easily. So Ken players kind of only want to send medium to large size attacks, like really. So each character kind of has like a little kind of dynamic in there, which is built into their pattern, which you have to kind of utilise. So yeah, I would say definitely try to send me a big one as a cat, and otherwise I'll just be getting too many reds, and I'll destroy them, and that would help me like
get you.
Yeah, it will actually help me. Yeah. But because of Morrigan's pattern being quite kind of different, she's good for sending chip attacks or large attacks. She's quite well rounded, which is one of the reasons I like her. I'm just building up a big fat blue here.
I've got a bit of a blue on the go as well.
I might just do this. So you see it says 15 up there. That's Alex's chance to, if you had the ability to like try and reduce that number by creating an attack of his own.
I've only got you a small one so far, unfortunately. It's not really working out very well.
Yeah, I always prefer to send big attacks if I can. I don't really like doing the little ones, but I still struggle to set up like big chains, like loads and loads and loads in a row. Here's a little chain for you, just 2. All clear. I've got a rainbow gem, but nowhere to go with it. Let me do a little green.
Oh,
there we go.
that was quick.
It's best of 3 though, so we're not over yet, because the arcade mode is like best of 1. If you lose one round in the arcade mode, like it's over. You've got to spend another credit.
It's on free play. It's not so bad.
Yeah, last time when we played Alien vs Predator, we had the clicker and we clicked up how much money we spent throughout the whole game. But this time, because we're just doing head-to-head, that's not so much a factor. Don't what?
Send me colours that I don't want.
The thing is, it's so satisfying to... This is true about a lot of fall-down puzzle games, Puyo Puyo and Tetris as well, but it's fun just to build the little towers sometimes and not actually like break up the gems too quick. And sometimes you'll be forced to shatter your gems and you're like, oh, I have a nice little...
Yeah, I wanted to see how big I could make it.
Sometimes me and my girlfriend Lisa, when we'd play a mode of our own called Biggest Red, and we just see who can make the biggest red, and actually it doesn't matter who wins. When the game's over, whoever has the biggest red remaining is the winner. Yeah, and one thing about this, actually, Puzzle Fighter, is that it's such a good game, and part of the joke of it is that it's called Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, but there is no other entry in the series. They ported this once before to Xbox 360 and PS3 as an HD version. But they've never made, there's no Puzzle Fighter 1, there's no Puzzle Fighter sequels, and I don't really understand why, because it's such a great concept, it's such a great twist on the head-to-head puzzle game. And it's got, all the great like Capcom music and characters, but sort of like cutified, chibiified, kitchified, if you will. I was really surprised when it was on the PlayStation Classic to play a game which I hadn't played before. And I'm like, well, why wasn't it... Oh, you see how you sent me several lines there. I just didn't get why it wasn't a more prolific series. But yes, when Ken sent me that big attack, you see I got multiple strikes. And now it's all broken up. I haven't actually gained anything from you because you've sent me like a line of red that's broken up, a line of green that's broken up. So I've now got all these disparate colours on the screen.
You don't want me to get a blue.
I would right now. To get a blue. Oh yeah, you've nearly got me here. Oh, there you go. Another thing to think about when you're playing this is that your gems fall down from the same place at the top of the screen each time. If that little space at the top where the gems appear fills in, no matter how much space is left on the screen, if that space is filled in, you lose. So really, you want to place your gems in sort of like a V shape that leaves a little gap there in the middle, so you don't get beaten too quickly. And
easier said than done in the heat of the moment, though.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's true. Sometimes you're too busy building your big, red or your big yellow, and you do it. But the thing is that if you do create a V shape, an attack pattern like Ken's or really anybody's, if it becomes uneven in its falling, then it's even more difficult, because those reds stop being lines of red and start being these little steps of red or blue or green or whatever it is, and it become really hard to clear. So it really is about managing the size of the attacks you're sending to your opponent, and also managing your own play space to allow them to attack you but not really gain too much from it. And I find it's way more thought-provoking than a head-to-head round of Tetris or a head-to-head round of like Columns or Puyo Puyo or something like that.
I also find that the more you play, after a while, you sort of start to enter a bit of a zone, and you really feel like you're playing well. You're kind of getting it, and it's quite a nice state to enter. I think it probably happens with a lot of puzzle games, but yeah.
And one thing I really prefer about the arcade controls, which the PlayStation I find a bit more difficult, and this is true of all sort of pad-based puzzle games actually for me, because my thumb has to switch between two buttons, I tend to get a bad habit of just resting on one rotation, so I'll only rotate in one direction. So my thumb doesn't move off that one button, and I don't do a clockwise or anti-clockwise motion. But because we're playing on an arcade system and I've got two separate fingers on two separate buttons, I'm finding that I can actually rotate both ways a lot more quickly, and it's not causing me such a headache. There's a part of my brain that doesn't like doing that on PlayStation, but when I play this, it's actually, I can manage it. It's okay. Oh, I'm right at the top here. I'm just about surviving, getting rid of these little bits and pieces.
Have some reds?
No, I don't want your reds. Oh, I'm just barely carrying on here. Speed is definitely a factor in Puzzle Fighter though, because if you hold down, obviously my gems are going to come down faster. And if I see that Alex is about to send me a big attack, if I keep holding down and I'm able to manage my placements properly, you can get a lot of moves in before Alex can get moves in. It's just like fighting in that way. Oh, you put in your little...
Yeah.
Over to
I was trying.
If you put a coin in, it will let you carry on. So let's be some different characters, show us some different patterns. Let's be... I'm going to be... I think I'll be Donovan.
I'll go Chun-Li.
Okay. Chun-Li's got quite a simple pattern, as you can see there. And again, that benefits large attacks. If you do lots of little chips, you're going to send those three colours over and over and over, which will be there. So you kind of want to send at least up to that fourth line. And Donovan's got one of the stronger patterns. He's considered to be comparable to Ken when it comes to like stronger play, because he has these sort of pillars of red and yellow and then blocks of blue and green. So I can send like little chips or big attacks, and both kind of can be quite chaotic for you. Yeah, this the music on Donovan's stage is just like top notch. It's interesting how they like stick characters into these puzzle games. I feel like it's a very Japanese thing to put like cutesy stuff along with these, because Puyo Puyo does it. A lot of the SNK puzzle fighters have like these kind of mascots along, and it made sense that Capcom would take pre-existing franchises and use them in that way, because, like I said at the beginning, I don't believe this is like a cash-in in any way, but it does provide some sort of like advertising platform for their other stuff, I guess. And if they're thinking like, women who don't play other games might play this, then they might go on to check out Darkstalkers and Street Fighter. Or conversely, if they're being presumptuous about men's tastes, men who might not want to play like a silly puzzle game might see like Ryu and Morrigan and all that and be like, I'm going to play that game because I recognise those characters.
And it just works so well because they do attacks, they do things that you recognise.
That's the thing, that's the whole point, is that it's not just a circus thing, it feels like a fighting game when you play it well. we've got Darkstalkers on the Capcom Home Arcade, so we'll probably get to that eventually, and we'll show off some of those characters in their sort of home, on the home turf, as it were. Now we've had the Capcom Home Arcade a bit longer, and certainly since the reviews come out, I've had a lot of comments and a lot of different thoughts and feedback flying around. One thing I can say about Puzzle Fighter is that there's a little glitch in Capcom Home Arcade at the moment, which means that it's not saving the high scores properly. But I'm pretty confident that it's going to get updated soon, because it's an issue that people are aware of, and I think Koch Media will sort that out. But yeah, at the moment it's not taking the high scores onto the leaderboards quite right, which is a shame. But yeah, I'm sure they'll sort that out soon.
Because the amount of time you've had it, you'd probably be fairly high.
I know that I would be. So, tell you what, once we've done this round, let's show off some of those secret characters I mentioned. Yeah. Because there's a couple of boss characters in the game which you can apprehend in the arcade mode. But if you put in some special inputs on the character select screen, you can play them yourself. So yeah, we'll get into that in a mo.
I love that kind of stuff. Modern games, you don't really get it anymore.
Codes.
Putting in, yeah, you get the odd kind of God mode or something like this, but it's not the same as it used to be. Like, actually, the skill of inputting a code and the speed you had to do it.
I don't know if you say to a kid that if you're using a cheat code, do they know that?
Even more than me.
Is that a term? I mean, not that kids should be aware of our history in any way, but it just feels like when we were kids, cheat codes were a thing, and now not so much. Don't know if all the Fortnite kids know about cheat codes.
No, you just have cheating, don't you?
Just cheating generally, server hacking, like the equivalent. Oh man, there's so many reds. Oh,
I was probably sending you loads of reds.
Alright.
So we're going to try some secret characters.
So to unlock the secret characters, you've got to do some codes on the character select screen. There's 3 secret characters. So we'll just start off with one of them, because the codes can be quite intense.
Yes.
So what we have to do, when the character select screen appears, we'll hold start, and we'll press down on the control stick 14 times. When the character select screen timer gets to 10, if you press any of the buttons, you'll unlock the Violet, who is one of the secret characters. So we're going to give it a go.
No pressure.
So, this is human. Hold down, start. Press down 14 times. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14. Wait for number 10. Press start. You've got to divide that.
Yes.
I'd let it go past 10. Because if you do this code wrong, you get Dan. Let's play on 4. Now the thing with Violet and Dan is Violet is a boss character, and she has a very complicated checkerboard pattern.
As you said, we haven't seen her pattern, have we?
No, it'll come up later.
Okay.
Dan is kind of like a punishment for getting that code wrong. Dan's a joke character in Street Fighter anyway. His pattern is all red. Nothing but red. So obviously if I send Alex a ton of reds in one go, all he's got to do is crash it one time, and jobs are good and I can get beaten. So I've really put myself at a disadvantage here, just to show that when you enter the Violet code, hold start, press down 14 times, work number 10, press start again, you get this really cool boss character. But if you do it too early or too late, you get the exact opposite and you get this really, really weak character. Not impossible to win with Dan though.
No.
I've done the entire arcade mode with Dan. So,
commendable.
I like playing as Dan, I like the handicap. But yeah, I am sending you nothing but red. And you can see, Alex, I'm trying to build up some big crash gems here, some big blocks, so that if I send you some strong attacks rapidly enough, I might just be able to beat you. But yeah, the Violet's pattern is this nasty kind of, every single block is different, there's no connecting colours at all. So if you send me a big attack as the Violet, then jobs are good, really. But there's a slight handicap with these boss characters who you unlock, because the Violet is like a secret boss. She doesn't send as many crash gems, as many counter gems, sorry. So when you do an attack, the counter gems I'm going to get is about 70% of the amount that I would send you for the same amount of combo. So it does make it kind of viable for a competitive player. It's not like it's not an instant win, it's not like a cheat.
And this is the only way to get Violet, is with the code?
Yeah, you can't unlock the Violet any other way in the arcade mode, and there's a secret code to have it on the PlayStation as well. They never appear on the character select screen as a permanent fixture, they're always like a secret character. I'm sending these little attacks, but really I want to send you one big one. And I don't think that was big enough. So now that you've got all these reds, all you got to do now is get through 5 goes, and you'll be alright. You'll be alright.
I'm gonna be okay. Just keep telling myself.
Yeah, I needed that attack to be a bit bigger.
There we go.
Oh, gee whiz. 99. So, there you go.
He is a joke character.
Yeah, that's the problem with Dan. But Violet is a villain from Cyberbots. It's a much lesser known title from Capcom. Didn't do so well, I guess. Great game. We're going to play it eventually, probably, most likely. So you'll see Violet in her own game. But yeah, she's like a nasty kind of villainess kind of character.
I kind of like the way she's got an army of monsters behind her.
She's got like a Frankenstein friend and like a little kind of evil
Zombie
demon
sort of guy,
sort of professor guy. And yeah, I'm not sure of what the lore is or the story behind the Violet yet because I've not played Cyberbots enough to get everything from it. I played it quite a lot because it's one of my preferred games on here, so I do practice it quite a bit. But yeah, I haven't got the whole lore down, so I don't really know what's going on with her and these other creatures. Because Cyberbots is a very technological thing. It's like robots, science fiction stuff. But then she's got these kind of monster creatures with her.
Yeah, it's quite a strange.
I'm not really sure what's happening.
Mix.
But yeah, Dan is like a very kind of reoccurring kind of joke character in Street Fighter. He always sort of explains how to play to you, but the joke is obviously that he is not very good at playing himself. My hand was forced there by a rainbow gem to send you an attack before I really wanted to. So now you've got a rainbow gem.
Yeah. I mean, with Dan, you haven't got any choice but to use it on reds, really, because you've not built anything else up.
Worth noting that we are getting the same content, we're getting the same gems in the same order coming to us, and obviously if one of us plays faster or slower than the other, then we see them at different times. But if I get a rainbow gem come through, I know for certain that Alex is going to get that in a few turns' time, and with Dan, that's especially nerve-wracking to know that, oh great, if I send the reds now, it's not good timing. So there is a deeper strategy to Dan, regardless of his kind of clown sort of appearance. It's not entirely free of strategy.
You might have me here.
No, because you've got a red. And I was no. No, I got you. Oh! No. Oh, got rainbow. Can I do it? Oh, if I had that rainbow, I could have.
It's so close.
Yeah, very nice.
But yeah, I was playing your boss character and you were playing the weakest character.
Right. So we finally won? Yeah, you did good. It's the gas chamber.
Oh my word.
So that's a bit much.
Yeah. When she's evil.
She's not very nice.
We can't
I don't think you'd get away with that now, though, if that was in the game. So yeah, those were 2 of the 3 secret characters, and we've got one more. So when we'll do head-to-head, and we'll have an identical character, so it'll be fair. This one's a bit more complicated. Just like the last one, hold start when we get to the character select screen. We'll both go down to the lower character. So you'll go down to Felicia, I'll go down to Morrigan, and then you're going to press right down, right,
and hold it.
Hold the last right, and if you press it, you'll get to the character. I do the same thing, but I do left down, left, and hold the last left, and then I'll get the same thing.
And can we do this one wrong and end up with down?
No, if we do this one wrong, it will just give us Morrigan or Felicia.
Yeah, okay. Because if you were playing on the arcade and you put that money in, you tried to get the Violet.
There's a gamble.
You would not be happy with that wasted credit.
You got confident, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right, so you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
So go down to the character.
Hold start first. Hold start, down. Right, down. Akuma.
Yeah,
right, so let's go to 4. Akuma's pattern is exactly like the Violet's. Everything's checkerboard, nothing matches, but it's mirrored for the Violet, so they are a bit different, but it's basically the same. Same as the Violet though, you're only sending a 70% attack. It's when you go head to head, it's not like you've not got the biggest advantage. The pattern is an advantage, but it handicaps you by sending less counters. So yeah, we're both Akuma, so this is a completely fair match. Yeah, I do love a bit of Akuma. Not so keen on the music that they gave Akuma in this game. I think it's kind of like a remix of his Alpha theme, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I just didn't like the remix so much for him.
He looks great though.
Yeah, it's a shame because I really like Akuma. Like in every other sense, I just didn't really care for the puzzle fighter music. So I tend to pick the Violet more so than the Akuma.
Yes.
Oh, we got your green. Oh, you see, I didn't really prepare for that. Oh, here we go, big yellow though. So I used the rainbow gem on yellows when there was a yellow crash gem coming right after. If I'd been smart, I would have used the rainbow on the green and then done the yellow, neutral normally. So that was a fumble on my part. I need to get a green, but you've just blocked off my big green. I've got a big green combo coming your way and you pushed me away from it.
Good.
I can tell you're thinking, because you're not really saying anything.
Yeah, sorry.
You don't have to sort of focus on your play, it's fine. But I can tell that's what's going on.
Well, you've won a lot of matches.
I have.
I kind of want to get some back fairly.
It's not to do with being better though, it's just because I've been playing a bit longer and I've had the stick. I did the review, I mentioned Puzzle Fighter, so I've spent a lot of time with it that Alex hasn't had. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed borrowing the PlayStation.
I certainly have. I've only played Puzzle Fighter.
Same. I bought the PlayStation Classic on like Amazon Prime Day. It was like 16 quid, down from 90. And I was like, yeah, I'll go for that. And I've only played the one game. I tested a few other things, but yeah, Puzzle Fire was worth it. You held off quite well there for a little bit. You managed to push back.
I was, yeah,
couldn't reduce it. And
it's only round one though.
Yeah. See, I've got my shirt off now. Yeah, quick swig.
As with all puzzle games though, you don't hold back if someone gets distracted by something. Play your advantage.
Yeah, I stand by my comment that this is the strongest competitive puzzle game. I like playing Puyo Puyo and I love Tetris 99. Play it all the time.
Yes, you
very
do.
competitive. But this, it feels like we're really, it was designed for two players to go at it, whereas Tetris wasn't designed for two players to go head to head.
No, shoehorned it in later.
So yeah, I think like Capcom really flexed on this, and they showed that they understand the competitive spirit of gaming very, very, very well. And it was a great choice for this unit.
Oh, I'm sure for this unit it's going to get the highest replayability out of us.
Oh, I got tech bonus by using the rainbow gem on the bare ground.
Which means must have a rainbow gem coming up soon.
Oh, he's right. Here it comes! Oh no! What are you going to go for?
Ah, jeez. Reds.
I thought you were going to go for yellows, but you managed to dig them out first. Yeah, I think having spent some time with the stick, it feels natural. I was a bit concerned that having played with buttons, that was going to be like too ingrained in my mind. But it's clear that, as an arcade game, it was made with stick in mind, and it feels really good. And like I mentioned earlier, having two fingers free to do, clockwise, counterclockwise rotations feels really, really good. So I definitely prefer the controls on this to what we have on the PlayStation Classic. Not quite enough for you to rush out and get Capcom Home Arcade, though, I don't think, is it?
No.
You'd need some other incentives.
It plays really nice. I'd be more interested if further games came out as updates. As with any sort of mini console, if you want to call them that, it lives on its catalog of games.
Library, yeah.
And although they're very good on here,
It's still a lot of there's still a lot of money for not that many games.
yeah, it's quite a finite amount compared to something like the Mega Drive Mini, for instance,
Exactly,
where you
yeah.
get 47 games or something like that.
One thing I did was I was going to mention this in the review and I ended up cutting this bit out, but the thing with this is that yes, it has very few games compared to the Mega Drive Mini, but the thing with the Mega Drive Mini, and this was true of the NES Classic as well, large game library, but some certified duds in there. Whereas with this, small game library, maybe not enough to justify £200 for most people, but there aren't any bad.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're all to my tastes. You know, I'm not like a big shmup guy really, but you know, I can see that it's a quality library, small though it may be. So, and you could argue like, well, Hyper Fighting is there. They should have had Super Turbo. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. But that doesn't mean Hyper Fighting is a bad game. It never was. It's just not the most like concurrent Street Fighter 2 that they could have had, but it's still a decent game. It didn't age poorly just because they updated it with Turbo. I think in terms of games I would like to see them add, I wouldn't mind them. It would be nice to have another Street Fighter like an Alpha or Third Strike, but at the same time, given that the strength of the game menu is in stuff that I personally haven't spent a lot of time with or played at all, I'd be willing to let them kind of educate me a little bit more. Maybe put some other games on here which I haven't heard of before too. And I think Puzzle Fighter falls into that category. A lot of people won't have played it, either because of lack of exposure or lack of interest, and you know, now it's here. It probably will gain like a small resurgence, and maybe that will lead to a wake-up call for a sequel. Oh, you got me. Another thing with Akuma, I feel like this is just an Akuma thing, but it gets faster.
It does.
Yeah.
I only noticed on that one. I wonder if it's on a timer almost, or whether it's not, or whether it's about how full our screen is.
I'm not certain, but I feel like it's just for Akuma. Whenever I play as Akuma, I feel like when you get into that top section, it gives you like a little glass cannon feel where it's like, yeah, Akuma's really strong, but if you're in a bind, it pressures you even more. Because it doesn't speed up for anybody else.
No.
I'm pretty sure that speed up is just for him.
But it didn't happen on the first round either.
I don't think we got high enough for long enough to see it.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a time thing, like you said, because time is a big factor in the score.
It added a lot of pressure in that last match. Yeah, it was, I didn't think I was going to win. I was panicking.
I was so focused on my own side of the screen, I didn't even see how endangered you were. Were you like up high as well?
Fairly high.
Ah, okay.
I was panicking.
That's the big thing with this, is that it's important to keep an eye on your opponent and see like what they're doing. But if you get into a panic, then there's too much going on for you to do it sometimes, and obviously then that gives your opponent another advantage. So,
Like
oh,
you got me.
See, that was unlucky.
Yeah.
But there you go.
So those are the secret characters.
All three of them.
Oh, yeah, his win screen
You're just
great.
a pathetic example of a carbon-based wastage.
Can you imagine if your boss said that to your work?
I've had bosses who would have said exactly that. That's Super Puzzle Fighter.
Really enjoyed watching me lose.
Well, did you learn something? Do you feel like you improved?
We've had some brilliant matches.
Oh yeah, there were some good ones here. There were
Yeah.
some close ones. But we're going to go on and play something else next time. So to decide what we're going to play, we'll do a round of Street Fighter 2 head-to-head, and whoever wins can pick the next game. So this time, we can't pick a character that we had before. So I can't pick Chun-Li, you can't pick Bison, and same, I can't pick Bison either, and you can't pick Chun-Li, because they were picked. So to keep it interesting, we've both got to pick a fresh character.
With Street Fighter 2, it's not leaving a great deal of characters the more we do this.
Let's start in. Right.
So I want Kyle's original costume, so I'm going to press start.
Oh, you jammy dodge it. Oh, it's the same thing. Dalsim versus Guile. I don't know that this is a classic matchup, but you know, I put a bit.
But it will be after this.
Oh, put a bit of practice in with old Dalsim. Get rid of those Sonic Booms with my yoga flame. Yeah. Forget about it. Forget about it, Alec. You're not doing it. Oh. Yeah. Oh wow, nice air grab. Trying to do a flash kick off me. It's not going to work. I'm not coming over there. Oh! Oh dear. Oh, see, I put my yoga fire with you.
You can stop my Sonic Booms, I can stop your Yoga Fire.
No, I guess that's true.
Thought I could do it.
I might go cheap here because I didn't do so well. It's very hard to time my anti-airs. So you've got to be far away. If you get too close, my hit doesn't work so much. Oh! I knew I should have picked Darcy. Okay. Alex gets to pick the game then.
Sorry.
You know what it's going to be? Do you have
No, I'm going to have to look.
Okay
I
then.
have no idea. Okay, so I've been having a quick flick through.
Oh
I
yeah.
kind of boiled it down to Capcom Sports Club. Feels a bit like California Games, maybe.
Yes, it's that sort of thing. There's 3 little sports games in there, so there's a bit of variety.
Just as something completely different.
Alright. I feel like you've got a quandary though. Something else in
Yes. And I'm kind of thinking of one of the shoot 'em ups. So I assume Loot Master.
Loot Master is Giga Wing, Eco Fighter, and Pro Gear. Never ported to a console before. This is just like AVP. Pro Gear, it's his first time on.
Right.
So.
Giga Wing sounds good though. Let's go Sports Club.
Okay. Sports Club next time then on Puzzle Arcade. Thanks for playing, Alex, and for beating me. See, this thing, I beat you so much on Puzzle Fighter. It was only fair that I kind of. Maybe I didn't fight so well on Street Fighter.
No, you were holding back.
Maybe. But yeah, thanks for watching Puzzle Arcade. Capcom Sports Club next time, and we'll see you around.
Bye.
Bye.